All righty, and we're on the phone with Mr. Tom Green.
Hey, how are you? Great to be here. I'm excited to be on the radio with you. I love going on the radio.
You you started out sort of in radio, right?
I did college radio when I was growing up in Canada and loved that, and started my television show basically as a spin-off of the public access radio show that I did. And I've always loved broadcasting, and it's sort of what led me into doing the show on MTV and stand-up comedy. And yeah, I'm having a blast touring around right now. Can't wait to come see you guys out there.
Have you ever been to Montana before?
You know, I have been to Montana, but I've never done stand-up in Montana. So I'm really looking forward to being there and spending some time with you guys and seeing some mountains and some beautiful scenery, taking some hikes.
There you go.
It's going to be a great time. I'm excited about it.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to it. And there's not a lot that you haven't done. I mean, your Wikipedia thing's like 15 pages long because you've really done that many movies and that many TV shows and things like that. I think I probably got most familiar with you right around the time when most of America did in the late 90s when the Tom Green Show hit MTV.
Yeah, you know, it was an exciting time. I'd been doing my show on public access TV in Canada for many years, and then in 1999 it got picked up by MTV, and it was just like a rocket ship taking off. You know, got to go on all my favorite talk shows, and got to meet David Letterman and go on his show, and eventually host the show as a guest host. So got to host Saturday Night Live and do all of these exciting dreams that. Do these exciting things that I'd never really dreamed of, So it was just amazing, and I'm standing here right now in a parking lot in Los Angeles, and a guy just came up and asked me if I was waiting for my car at the valet, and I said, "No, I'm not waiting for my car. I'm actually on the radio right now in Montana."
I look at the things that you've done. I mean, the long list of things that you've gotten to do since that show, and I really I admire or I envy a lot of it. I mean, Saturday Night Live must have been awesome. Letterman's always been a hero of mine.
Yeah, it was very surreal, and it's just it's exciting. And sometimes I look back at my Wikipedia page myself and scratch my head and say, "Wow, I can't believe all this cool stuff happened to me, and I got to do all this stuff." But I'm very I've got a lot of energy to do comedy. I love doing comedy, and I just keep going, and that's what I love about stand-up is it's a very independent business, an independent medium, and I'm able to continue touring and doing what I love to do, and getting up on stage in front of people all over the country and telling jokes is something that is in many ways a purer form of comedy than television or movies, because you've got an audience right there. There's no restrictions, no rules, no executives who can come along and cancel your show on a whim at any time just because they feel like it or just because they feel like changing their mind about something. You can literally do it for the rest of your life, and you're your own boss. And that's kind of what I love about stand-up comedy. And, I think that the content and the jokes are reflective of that, because they're not being siphoned through some sieve of some corporation that is like, picking and choosing what they think you should be talking about. It's really just a pure, unadulterated, insane rant that you get to do every week.
The purest form of Tom Green. Well, you started stand-up comedy pretty young age, didn't you?
I did. I started stand-up when I was 15 years old, and I did it until I was about 20, but then I stopped and went into broadcasting and did that for many years. But the last 10 years or so, I've been really getting out there on the road. Definitely the last 5 or 6 years, I've been really touring hard all over the country, and really am back in it with a vengeance. I think you have a lot more motivation to get up on stage and rail against the system when you've sort of been bitten by the system a few times yourself, and that comes with experience and age. And now that I'm, in my 40s, early 40s, 43 years old, you sort of start to realize, that there's a lot of things that are ridiculous about the world that maybe you didn't notice when you were younger, and you want to get up on stage and just, crack jokes about it all.
Sure. What was your routine like when you were young? What kind of jokes did you do? What kind of stuff did you talk about?
Well, it would be, about pop culture and sort of funny things I'd see on television and things like that, but it wasn't as deep into, personal relationships or how we're living our life and the society that we're living in, or the media and how it affects our minds and affects the way we live our lives. And so I'm sort of trying to, kind of speak truth to power as much as possible now, and try to make a point to the audience where we actually walk out of the show and think maybe we should change the way we're living our lives now in this world. But it's, at the end of the day, it's still a very high energy, ridiculous, outrageous comedy show that I'm doing. And, I don't want people to come away from the interview thinking that just because I'm trying to make a point that it's not like, that it's like serious or something like that. Because it's not, in many ways, I find comedy, is much funnier when it's poking fun at things that are relevant to us in our individual lives. So I'm having a blast, and it's just great going around the country and getting up on stage and having some laughs with people who have grown up watching my shows and films. It's just a really fun night.
Real quick, I want to talk about the TV show, the Tom Green Live on Access TV. You're into your third season
absolutely.
on that?
Yeah, I've been having a blast doing that show. It airs on Thursday nights on Access TV. Everyone's got to tune in. It's a talk show that I've been having a great time doing, and people got to tune in and check it out.
You've had just about everybody on, from Dan Rather to Weird Al. Who's been your favorite?
Yeah, I've really loved my time I've spent with all of my guests. Dan Rather was amazing. Weird Al, Howie Mandel, Andrew Dice Clay was one of my favorites. He's just so hilarious and a good friend of mine. So, it's been really cool. And Steve Carell did the show this year.
Oh, excellent!
Yeah. So many cool people. So it's fun, and it's really kind of a fun thing to be able to do the show on during the week, and then go out on the road and do stand up on the weekends, and we're just having a blast with it. So absolutely.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to seeing you Friday and Saturday night, the 7th and the 8th. It's coming up at the Red Door. There's still tickets available. Tom Green, again, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Yeah, thank you. Can't wait to see you guys. Looking forward to being there. Cheers, man. Come have a beer. Let's party. Rock on.
All right. Thanks,
Daddy,
everybody.
would you like some sausage?
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.